Hi everyone, Rebecca here, also known as Scrap Paper UK. Today I'm taking part in the Mixed Media Frenzy YouTube hop to scrap lift that layout. There's my take on the layout. I absolutely love mixed media and I want to scrap a little bit more just for fun. So I'm trying to make a concerted effort to do extra layouts outside of my DT commitments this year. So there you can see I'm adding some Nouveau embellishment mousse in the shade Triple Berry, as well as some of the Cambella watercolour paints in Beyond Belief. All of the paints that I've used in the background are iridescent, pearlescent, and have a beautiful shimmer when you shift the page and they catch the light. I've also added in some of the Inklings watercolours in the shade Beats Me. So you can see in this clip here, when I shift the page, the paint catches the light and it's beautifully reflective and pearlescent. I absolutely love that effect in any sort of mixed media, but I particularly do love these Cambella watercolour paints. Beautiful little independent company, so well worth checking that out if you're into mixed media. So I'm going to add some ink blending over the top of this with a pear tree stencil. That is the Field of Flowers stencil in the size 12 by 12. And I'm going to go over that with some Distress Oxide in the shade Worn Lipstick. So I wanted to stick as closely to the original as possible because I love it. I wanted it to be a very feminine, girly sort of vibe on the page. I'm using the Maggie Holmes Market Square collection and I'm scrapping about a baby shower. So it was all girls there. So I really wanted a really girly, floral, pink feel to the page. So now I'm using another pear tree stencil. This is the In the Net stencil in the size 8 by 8, and I'm going to use some of the Distress Oxide in the shade Dried Marigold. I really do love this 8 by 8 size that Pear Tree do, which I think is really clever. You know, you can pick the size of the same stencil that you want. So it has 6 by 6, 8 by 8 or 12 by 12. I have a couple of the 12 by 12s, but I do particularly love that 8 by 8 size. I think it's great. So I'm going to use one of these little square script font stamps from one of the Heidi Swap stamp sets, and I'm using a Hampton Art dye ink in just a pink shade, just to add another little bit of interest and detail in the background. It's not very obvious in the finished layout. So I'm going to add another layer of detail with a Vicky Bouton stencil. I'm not entirely certain which collection that stencil is from. It's either Colour Study or Storyteller. I think it might be Storyteller. And I'm scraping through some of the Nouveau mousse in Poppy Pink just to add another dimension to the background. So I've got several different bits and pieces from the Market Square collection. I've got lots of the chipboard and several packets of the embellishments from Lottie Loves Paper. So I'm just going to use that cut apart sheet to add some details behind my photograph. That cut apart paper is called Loving This. I can't remember if I mentioned, but I had pre-gessoed that background paper, so things don't stick fantastically well to gesso, and I'd also removed some of the thickness from some of those pieces of chipboard, so I have added those in with glue, and some of the alphas weren't sticking great on top of the gesso, so I've added a little bit of glue onto those, and obviously some machine stitching over the title. There is some machine stitching on the title in the original, so I definitely wanted to emulate that on my layout as well. So this is all Market Square, apart from one little embellishment, that little jewelled flower that ends up in the centre of the page. That is Maggie Holmes, but it comes from the Willow Lane collection, and I just liked it. I thought it really suited this layout, so I've whacked it on as well. So final little bits and pieces of the layout, I've added some journaling. I will add some gold splatter from another Cambella little tin. I've added some more machine stitching. I've added some raindrops from Little Things by Lucy's cards, and I've added some pink hearts from Pear Tree Pieces as well. I have loved making this layout, and I've really enjoyed taking part in this hop. So please do check out all the other participants in the description box. There are links to all their process videos for scraplifting the same original layout, and it'd be interesting to see everybody's take on that layout. Here is mine. There are some close-ups coming now. Thank you so much for joining me. Please do subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll be trying to join in some more just for fun hops and things throughout the year. So please do catch up with me. Thanks for joining me. Bye.